Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the On the Contrary podcast with Emilio Tobias. And if you've clicked on this link by mistake, now you know. That is my radio voice and is only available for intros and outros. What we talking about today? I'm recording this on the 1st of April, so naturally I'm going to be talking about the things that frustrate me and irritate me about April Fool's Day. Like the fact that any news that you want to break on the 1st of April is going to be treated with suspense and not suspense, suspicion. It's going to be treated with suspicion, like defeats the point. Yet some people still insist on attempting. There are some people who do it who I think it's above them. So that's why I will play into it. Like if you got me, you got me. Few examples. There's a guy who put his face on a Netflix thing, and he's now supposedly the subject of a Netflix documentary talking about how he became a millionaire at such a young age. Like, do you really think that for a second we'll believe that Netflix is doing a documentary about you being a millionaire? So really, who's fooling who in that situation? A lot of these April Fool's pranks are who's fooling who type of pranks. Like, do you really think we're gonna believe the nonsense that you're telling us? Guys, I never wanna be in a who's fooling who situation. So you're making fools out of both of us. Both of us. On the other hand, I generally dislike pranks. Because what's it called? Physical humor or physical comedy or whatever you call it. But as much as I loved Leon Schuster growing up, not so much anymore. As much as I enjoy You Got Got on MTV, as much as I like Jackass and Johnny Knoxville's prank-based movies, as much as I like Sasha Baron and stuff with Borat, Bruno, This Is America. As much as I love those prank-based shows, I really hate pranks. Because some people don't know how to base these things. And a lot of people, they do it with such malicious intent. And my experience with it is, because I've always been a class clown or tried to be the funny one growing up. So people who do pranks on me, thinking that I would understand, or thinking that because it's also funny, it's the same thing that I've been doing, making jokes. And then they hit you with excuses like, "Oh, bruh, you didn't always making fun of other people. Like, why are you getting angry when we threw bleach on you? Why are you getting angry when we threw you with cow shit? You didn't always making jokes. I don't understand, Emilio. Like, why do you carry on like you don't do this? Like, I've never pranked anyone. I've never, for the sake of being funny, touched anyone. I've never endangered anyone physically. For the sake of being funny. So it's not the same thing. And it makes me realize more that people don't understand humor. People can't differentiate between jokes and pranks. And then you get those types of pranks where someone mucks you. What is muck in English? When someone makes like they're gonna hit you, and then in their joke you end up out of reflex punching them in the face, or out of reflex something of theirs get damaged or they get hurt. Then afterwards they get upset because, bruh, I was only joking. Like, yeah, bruh, the point of that joke that you made was for me not to realize that you were joking until the joke was done. And now you are the victim of your own prank. Is that my fault? No. This is, you expect the you expect it. Jesus. You expected a reaction out of me. So you won. You won. Your prank worked. You got me, bruh. How you made a fool of me and of you. People don't understand you. And like they take this stuff too far. Like on the thing of what is this called? Yeah, I'm speaking fast. I'm expecting this whole conversation to take 45 minutes. On this whole mucking thing, then. Mucking for the final time. Mucking is when you make like you're gonna hit someone because you want them to block and make themselves look like a fool. So I never enjoyed that part because I was never a fighter. So even if this person hits me for real, I'm not gonna do anything about it. So my best defense against that is to teach myself. That's the word. My best defense against this thing was to teach myself not to flinch. So I've gotten very good at not flinching. So you can try it. I don't know how good I am anymore because since I've grown up a little, people don't do that so much anymore. I guess because they've learned, they listen. So if you listen to my podcast, I give you the right to try and make me flinch. You get 3 attempts. You make me flinch once. You need to make me flinch. Yeah, once. If you muck me 4 times, once is a loss. If you muck me 4 times, then you've lost. If you muck me 3 times, that's cool. That shows me you listen to my podcast, and I can prove to you that like I've meditated and trained my mind not to flinch when someone is actually mucking me. If a fucking punch actually does come my way and I get out of the way, doesn't count. Anyway, because that would be stupid. So like this whole pranks are dumb. And I don't want to mention people by name or mention some of the pranks that people did today. Kate Collide had one. I didn't think she'd do it, so that's why I was like, okay, cool, congratulations. And it was such an anticlimax, and she's like, oh, it's an April Fool's joke. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, awkward. Then I heard of this one prank. I don't know if it was April Fool's or whatever, but someone I know, their girlfriend told them that they're pregnant, and I don't know what the conversation was about keeping it or not. And then there was even a ultrasound picture. So what this person did, they reverse Google searched the picture, and it turned out it was just like a picture from the internet. But they only searched this picture like 2 days after, thinking for a few days that they're gonna be a parent. And the excuse of the prankster was like, you always making jokes, but you can't even take a joke. Guys, that is not the same thing. That is definitely not the same thing. And it sounds like an excuse to me, but like, guys, if we're pranking each other now, faking pregnancies, the day when you're really pregnant and I don't believe you and I've left now, and then what? I find out 20 years later that you weren't joking. People take these things too far. Really too far. I really thought this conversation was going to be longer. But this episode might be more enticing, it being 10 minutes long. That's what I felt like sharing today. I don't like pranks. Pranks are stupid. Like, they are really good pranks and well thought out pranks, but for the most part, pranks are stupid and juvenile. We used to phone my friends and I, whenever someone had a cell phone, we used to phone MTN and ask them like stupid questions. And like the slack thing was that I don't know if it was their job, even if they were thinking someone is pranking them, to still answer. And it's like, I'm so happy I wasn't call center agent being taken for a cut. We used to try dial fake airtime numbers until you got banned from trying to buy airtime. But that's as far as our pranks go. I remember there was this girl growing up that I never used to like. It was like the worst thing I ever thought of doing in terms of pranks, but I'm just happy I never got it right. The worst thing I ever attempted or thought about doing, because I was a girl that stayed up the street and we never liked each other. Like we hated each other so badly. Every chance we got, we tried to do something, and deep down, I think it's because we liked each other. When I think about it nicely, so now you're doing everything to prove to yourself and people around it, like, hey, I don't like her, I don't think I like her. So I saw a movie on TV where, you know those booby traps where there's like grass and stuff, and then you're walking in the bush, and then your leg gets caught by the rope, and then something falls down, and the rope like hangs you from your feet from the trees or whatever. So I had that idea to do that to this girl. So we had a tree in the yard, and I found rope, and I found it was actually like a knitted quilt or something. I found this thing, and then I started collecting the bricks and the rocks in the yard, and I filled that blanket up with the rocks, and I tied it up, with the rope. So now my plan was to try and pulley the rocks up the tree. So I pulleyed the things up way too heavy. Way too heavy, because now you must think the weight must be heavy enough to be at least 1.5 times heavier than my intended subject. We were 8 at the time. Me and this girl were 8 years old. So I fetched the rocks, tried to pull the thing up, didn't get it right. I tried taking the bricks up one by one, but they kept falling out the tree. Like, imagine if I got it right to get the bricks up there. I would have been dead today. I would have dead. And like, the people are just watching me do this. People ask me, what am I doing? They said, no, you'll just see. So my plan was to, cool, I don't like her, and she was going to walk past. Sometimes we'd be like in the same group of friends. So my plan was just to call her, go to her house, call her, ask her to come and see something. And I was going to hide the rope, and I was going to try and make her walk past the thing, and hopefully it was going to catch her and pull her up. I was very ambitious as a kid. Like, anything I saw on TV, if it looked easy, I thought I could do it. Even if it looked, or if I just slightly understood how to do it, I believed I could do it. And to this day, I think I have that attitude, and it only hits me later sometimes. Like, hey, maybe I'm not cut out for that thing, or maybe I'm not cut out for that thing. But also at the same time, I think I've achieved a lot of things because I didn't know that I couldn't do it. A little bit of motivation. So this was a time when I was living in Eldos now. Eldos was a funny time because not even my childhood was a funny time because I always managed to convince people to do things with me. Yeah, let me take you through some of the stuff I did growing up while I was in Eldos. So one thing we used to do, my friend got a dog, new dog, got a puppy, and they had like construction stuff in the yard. And I convinced this guy of two things in this time period. I convinced this guy, let's take some of the construction stuff that is in your yard, and then we build like obstacle courses. I think I saw like dogs doing obstacle stuff on Mr. Bean and other shows like that there. So I made us build obstacle courses for the dogs. The dogs would have to climb up things that were suspended and walk through. Like after a few weeks, this dog was doing like amazing things. We just show him that the food is at the end, and then we show him the path, then we take him back, and then he must walk back the same way. Yeah, this dog would tremble when we would put a plank up and then we suspend it so high and we'd make the dog walk across. The dog never got hurt, but thinking back, like, that dog must have been so damaged for the stuff we put it through. Did the stuff for weeks. And this is the kind of stuff that, like, made us not end up druggies. I never became a drug addict or anything because other children were doing other things while we were busy building obstacle courses. The one time we did find glue in the house and we were smoking glue for a week. But after that, like, we got over it. Funny story. The one thing I did convince this guy of doing, which I'm personally proud that I was able to do it. So as a kid, I used to, like, eat my snot a lot. I won't disclose when I stopped doing it. But I used to pick my nose and eat my snot. I was a kid. I was like 8, 9, maybe 10. And my friend, one day, I didn't realize he was looking. And he saw me eating my snot and like, wow, I got you. Like, you eat your snot, bruh. And you're so old, you're doing this. Then I was like, yo, bruh, I won't lie. You got me. Fair and square. You got me. Then it's like, okay, cool. Love dies down. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I can help it. Like, this thing is nice, bruh. He laughs some more. Doesn't believe me. He's laughing. I'm like, this thing is nice, bruh. And people make like it's all so bad. But like, I don't know if it's sweet. I don't know if it's salty. But just try it once. And then if you don't like it, then you tell me I'm lying. I swear to it didn't take me more than 2 minutes. Unless this guy was doing the stuff already. It didn't take 2 minutes for this guy to pick his nose, to find a piece of snot and eat it. Can you believe that? I convinced the guy, and he was older than me. He's like 2 years older than me. I convinced him to eat snot after he caught me eating snot. So that's something I'm personally proud of. I don't know if my manipulation skills are as good anymore, or if I've just chosen to pack my powers away. Convince this man to eat snot. Do you know, when I think of, and people say, like, my friends tell me, like, I was bossy as a kid, and I'm still bossy now, or whatever. I once convinced a few guys, all older than me, by a year, by few months, by 2 years. It was the time when I was in grade 2 this time. It was a time when Tazos were coming out, like Pokemon Tazos. Dragon Ball Z Tazos never came out yet. But what I did was, we lived right across from the school, and at the big entrance, not the entrance at the main entrance of the school, the tuck shop wasn't very far away from there. So the tuck shop was not attached to the main building, which was further in the school. So I convinced the guys that I was playing with, that I used to play with, that we should break into the tuck shop, and then we take all the chips there so that we can get the Tazos. And like, I didn't even really care at all about the chips. The chips were gonna be a bonus. I was doing it for the Tazos. So now what I've seen on one of the shows that I was watching, I think it was even a kid show, that some guys just took a piece of wire, and piece of wire that you can break off a fence even. So you take a piece of wire and you just shove it in the lock and you turn it like a normal key. If you do that long enough, and I don't know if this lock was old or whatever, but the first day we did it, nothing happened. We're like, nah, you all saw the thing on TV, you can get it right. Second day we used to do it after school, and like by 3 o'clock, all the children would have been picked up. There was no one there anymore. 4 o'clock, after a certain cartoon, I can't remember, we'd go and try and break in the school. Second day we tried it, bah, the lock opens, and now we are able to take off the chain of the gate. But we were so shocked that this thing worked that, like, as soon as it opened, there were 3 or 4 of us. As soon as it opened, like, some of the guys ran away, came back like, guys, let's just lock this thing. So now it became a thing where we were unlocking. We're doing this every day now. Coming there, unlocking the thing, locking it back again, taking turns, unlocking the thing, locking it back again. We're doing this for like 2 or 3 weeks. Funny thing is, our parents would walk past and ask us what we're doing. We're like, no, we're breaking into the school. Come see, come see. My mother would walk past. What are y'all doing? My aunts would walk past. What are y'all doing? No, we're breaking into the school. You can come see. One day, and I don't know whose fault it was, because I think what had happened was the guys who were older than me. There was a day when everyone went home, they went and did it again, because someone left the lock open. So what had happened was the caretaker got to the school in the morning and found the lock open. Right? Caretaker found the lock open and couldn't figure out why he left it open. He thought it was him. He was trying to figure out whether he was drunk or not. Now he's telling us the story while we're in the office now. I'll tell you how they caught us. He's wondering, hey man, was I drinking last night or what's going on? Now, for the fact that he had to really question himself whether he was drunk at work yesterday means it happened a few times that he wasn't sure whether he was drunk. But eventually, it came back to him and was like, no man, I wasn't drunk. I locked this thing yesterday. For sure. So I don't know, one of the teachers or someone said, no, we saw Cleveland, we saw Toma and Emilio and another friend of theirs playing by the locks. Ask them. But they got Cleveland first. Because Cleveland knew a lot more people than I did. I didn't play with many people. I only played with people in my street. So I think it was a prefect that called out Cleveland. They broke him immediately. He took us all out, told them it was my idea. They went and fetched me in the office. Then I went to the principal's office. Then they're telling us what happened. Why did we do that? Why did we steal? And this was a Friday when they called us. They're gonna lock us up for the weekend in the school, and there's rats here, and we're gonna get eaten by the rats. Yo, I was crying, like we didn't take anything. And Cleveland told our whole story. No, they wanted to steal Tazos in the tuck shop. Yo. And then they asked me, where do I stay? They asked me, what's my father's name? I said, Dion. They asked me, what's my mother's name? I said, Lisbeth. They said, this guy said, I think he was a vice principal or he was on the governing body, and he's like, where do you stay? Now, the funny thing is, where I used to live was right across from the office, the school's office. So from where I was standing, I could just point, no, that's my house. This guy says, huh? Lisbeth is your mother. This guy walks out. He walks 10 meters out the office and screams, calls my mother. Minute passes, she comes out. Turns out this guy that works at the school is my uncle. I had no idea. I had to explain now. In front of my mother. My mother's like, yeah, I saw him. I told him not to do it. Like, yo, all this for Taz. Like, I think it's days. I think that day deterred me from ever trying to steal. Ever. Like, I never want to be. And this is 2000, the year 2000 or the year 2002. I never, ever want to be in that situation again. So to this day, people like to say like I'm an auntie or I'm an uncle, because I'm always like, what's this word? A spoiled sport, like, hey guys, are you sure you want to do this? I think we're going to get in trouble. Let us rather not. So I was always able to convince people of, of doing things that I thought were fun or interesting. Um, that's my superpower, but like, I've put down my hammer. Thor has put down his hammer and will only use his power for good. Thank you for listening to my creepy stories. If you're still listening, um, this podcast is available on a few platforms. Let me know what other platforms I can put this on. It's available on YouTube, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Iono, and SoundCloud. This was my April Fool's episode, and thank you for listening.